up, y'all? It's me, Erica, and we are down here. Peace, y'all. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. Okay. What's up, everybody? It's me, Erica. We are down here, honey. I said I'm just going to sit down and start. What's up? We are down here. It's Friday. We are down here to talk about what's on the blogs. I haven't watched Orange County yet. I know it was the season finale, but I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it today. I have my mud water. I made it good today. I made it even better today. It's getting better every day. So I did the mud water. I did the creamer, and then I did my oat milk creamer. That's the little thing that spins around. That's what I was trying to... You know what I was saying. Go ahead and like the video. Thumbs up, thumbs down, however way you feel. It doesn't matter. You don't have to thumbs up all the time. If you don't agree, hit the thumbs down, right? It's all good. Leave a comment. Let the diva know you stopped by. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to everyone who's supporting the channel. Supporting the channel. However way you're supporting the channel. Merchandise, cash apps, memberships. Thank you so much. I appreciate your support. No, I really do. I really, really do. You guys, when I get like the random cash apps, you know, I think, you know, it's thoughtful, right? Because it's like, oh, I was on your mind. That was nice. That's nice. And thank you. I'm actually about to buy a camera. So I'm tired of using these cell phone. What is this on the screen, girl? Hold on. Oh no. Is that better? Oh yes. Oh my gosh. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. I could see all the obstacles in my way. Do I look like I feel like I'm about to get into a race car with these glasses on. Okay, let's go on IG. You know, I have a time limit on IG I give myself. So let's see what we got going on the blogs. Did I already tell y'all to like, subscribe, comment, let the diva know you stopped by? What's Oliver Twist running up the street for with no shoes on and a robe? What's happening? I didn't have no panties on under this. Oh my God. Okay, so let's see what's going on the blogs. Okay?
I sponsor the blogs. Let me tell you something.
Do y'all sponsor the blogs? Y'all be down here sponsoring the blogs. They tried to say I sponsor the blogs. Bitch, I was like, now this bitch think I sponsor the blogs. This bitch think that I sponsor the blogs. I hate what I see on my Explore page sometimes. I'll be like, how, what made you think I wanted to see that? So we really didn't get a chance to talk about Tichina Arnold, and her tweet asking for Black women to aid. How can we aid in stopping the emasculation of Black men? Girl, I already told y'all how I felt about it. I posted on the community page. When I tell you they dragged Pam through the streets. Baby, when I tell you they dragged Pam through the streets and reminded her, let me see, I think this is too bright. And reminded her how she was treated on Martin. I was like, ooh, I forgot. What's that? What is it? That's better, huh? I think the other one was too bright. Yeah, so yeah, they dragged her through the streets. I had to remind her that that's not what we're doing anymore. You know, she's Gen X. And like I said on Twitter, as Gen X, there's not too many Gen X with the mindset that I have. It's a lot. It's a small lot. Let's put it like that. It's a small lot of us And growing up, that's why I always felt so like I don't belong anywhere. Like this family is full of like I did not understand why they kept saying my dad was the patriarch when it was really my aunt. You know what I'm saying? Like my aunt was really the one handling business and taking care of shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, why do they keep saying my dad is the patriarch? And I was always like, all of that stuff didn't resonate with me. None of it. I rejected. I rejected all of it. Even when like during the holidays they would like try to shame me for not getting in the kitchen and helping. Did I ever? Never. I know that. Oh, and I was called lazy because I wasn't getting up working with the rest of the women while the men. I was sitting up under the men. That's probably why I was so goddamn male identified. But it was crazy because I rejected the roles, but I set up under the men and listened to them. So when I listened to them, I kind of adopted their mindset. You know what I'm saying? Even though I rejected a lot of, what they were saying, I'd be like, what? But then I started to think like a man. Right? And I used to, when my father would give me advice, I used to be like, see, I got advice. My dad is giving me advice from a man's perspective. And then when I got older, I realized this motherfucker is giving me advice that does not serve me. My father told me one time, never deny a man. If he asks you, never deny your man if he asks you for sex, or else he'll go out and have sex with someone else. Yes, my father told me that. It was a lot of things that he would tell me, and then like literally when I reflect on the advice that he gave me when it came to like relationship advice, it never served me. It always served the man over me, and it was weird. It was weird. It was weird. So I would be like sitting down, after, on the holidays, they would be like, Erica, she lazy. She don't want to do this. And she don't, because I'm not getting up with the rest of y'all serving men. What the fuck do I look like? No, for real. What the fuck do I look like? I used to be so baffled and I'd be like, okay, but I'm lazy because I'm not the mule right now. You lazy, you're the lazy mule. I was a lazy burro. Jasmine Brand got 666K followers. Only followers are able to leave comments? What? How is that? How'd she make her page like that? Only followers are able to leave comments. That's interesting. Okay. This is really good. Like, it is so good right now. But yeah, like back to what I was saying. So, girl, yeah. So I was like, never the one, I would never do anything. And then every now and again, I would think like, oh, like I need to make my dad's plate. My grandmother would always make my dad when I tell you my grandmother literally served my father and her husband like they were. It's just the programming, but it's funny because then your grandmother, even though she has that programming, she would still she would have these jewels that she would give to you that would tell you, don't do this. You know what I'm saying? But it was almost like secret. You know what I mean? Like, don't allow men to mistreat you. Have your own. Even though they were doing all of those things. I'm pretty sure some of you have had the same experiences where you saw the women doing like serving. It's so crazy because they would be serving the men let me shut up. They would be serving the men but then telling you, don't do this. But then also shaming you if you don't do it. Like, I don't know. It's very weird when I think about the dynamics and family dynamics. And when I realize, like, I live in a full, especially on the paternal side of my family. The maternal side of my family, my mom's side of the family, it was like so like I felt like it was a bunch of just fractured information. Like I just couldn't put the pieces together. Like both of my grandmothers, paternal and maternal, had a lot of sisters. And yeah, they had a lot of sisters and like a couple of brothers, but a lot of sisters. And it was just like I couldn't get all the story. Like I still don't have all the story. On my dad's side, when I got older, I started spending more time with them. And then I remember realizing, like, these women worship the men. I remember how when I tell you all of them, I don't think that there's one. I don't want to call my cousin's name, but I have a second cousin who might be a good dude. But when I think about all of them and I hear about how they all related to women, how they all treated women, it's just the pathology. It is so crazy when you think about it. And then you think about how all the men mistreated their wives, all of them. All of them. Do you hear me? All of them mistreated their wives. Most of the women stayed. And still serve the men. I think about how cycles can go, where you get women who are trained to worship men, and I think that's just in a patriarchy. I think that's part of the programming. It's just worship men. I really feel like when Jesus entered the chat, it was like a patriarchy parade, worship men, call God he, and it was just all this male identifiers for stuff that you're worshiping. And it switched because a lot of the deities were female or had no gender at all. So it's like you're programmed with this idea, the religion, and then it's like the roles. It's just so weird. And then you have these women who are programmed to worship men. The men can do no wrong. All the women are evil in some way. They're all conniving in some way. They can't be trusted. You can't trust that bitch around your man. It's really the man you can't trust. You know what I'm saying? It's really amazing when you actually are able to like step out of it and like hover over it and look at it like, this shit is crazy. This shit is crazy. So it's not a lot of Gen X folks like that. Like, I'm raised by baby boomers. My cousins are like older Gen Xers. And then I just could never relate to them. Like, I always felt like Malcolm in the Middle. Like, literally always felt like Malcolm in the Middle. There was so much space between like me and like my older cousins, and then me and my younger cousins. I was like literally in the center by myself. They were either too young, like outside, or they were too old, and we just were outside of a generation, like older Gen Xers. And so their ideas around relationships and stuff, I just was like, but then at the same time, I was still like, there was something in the brain was like, in the programming was like, you want this, you want this, you want this, you want this. And what happened was when a dude would come around that would show some attention, the programming would be like, you want this, even though I really did not want that. You know what I'm saying? And then I would get myself into these relationships and then find myself listening and hearing the advice from my father. And then I would be operating in relationships. And like my mom, when I think about it, I was thinking about it the other day, I was like, my mom really never gave me advice about guys. She never never told me. I would hear her like talk to her friends about men, being all men are dogs and all that stuff. And I used to be like, girl, y'all some bitter ass bitches. You know what I'm saying? I would think like, damn, they bitter. All they do is complain about the niggas and men and relationships and stuff. But then when I would get into these relationships, I wouldn't be serving myself. Right. And I'm like, what am I doing? And that's what I said online yesterday. I don't understand how people stay in shit for a long time and be like, we're fighting, we're working. I'm not doing nothing. We're working hard. It's hard. I'm going to fight and I'm going to try to work it out. Because I was watching Marriage Boot Camp. And I was like, girl, this is a mess. I'm not fighting for nothing that looks like this. Like Lyrica and A1, girl, what are you fighting for? Like literally. Cut it out. Stop the games. Stop it. And you know she's still attached to him because of the way she was acting because he went to K. Michelle's room. I was like, girl, goodbye. Like, if you have to constantly live like that where your nervous system is out of whack because some nigga, you don't know if he's cheating on you or not, if you are unable to rest in your relationship, I'm telling you, don't come to my tent asking for relationship advice because I'm going to be the one. I will be the one. I used to not be like, well, girl, you know, it's okay. But I'll be like, mm-mm. Or make it seem so you could see like it doesn't even make sense to do what you're doing, how much time you're wasting. How much time you're wasting. Go find you another man and co-parent with this man. Why do you want to be in a relationship with someone who continuously not even has sex with someone else, but just the fact that he keeps doing it and you're right there trying to fight? What are you fighting for, bitch? You're on the ropes. Call it a day. The motherfucking referee is hitting the mat, bitch. It's a wrap. Let it go. Let it the fuck go. Like, literally, I was looking at Lyrica like, girl, first of all, K. Michelle's here with her dude. You feel some kind of way because K. Michelle took A1 to the side. What you think, they gonna start fucking in the closet? Well, he should know that, you know, he's trying to, you know, do right by me. So he should modify his behavior in order to make you comfortable. He's not gonna do that. And he's been showing you he's not gonna do that. So what are you fighting for again? Hang it up. Flat screen. Hang it the up. Hang it up. Don't come to me for no advice. I'm like Themis. I can't give you no advice. Because I'm gonna be like, girl, that doesn't even make sense. What are you fighting for again? I was looking at Lyrica like, you so stupid. But anyways, I say all that to say, Gen X. It's not a lot of us. The way that I think there, you know, I see you guys in the comments, like, you know, saying, hey, I feel the same way. I'm Gen X, but you know, because when I hear the conversations in the digital spaces about the things that are going on, they always talk. It's like they talk about baby boomers, and sometimes because Gen X is almost like silent, like they forget about Gen X a lot. And that's why I feel like it's not a lot. Like I feel like the span, like, okay, I feel like the span for Gen X should be shortened, or the younger Gen X. I know they call them Zennials. That's how I identify. I don't identify as a Gen X. I identify like I'm in the middle of millennial because I still have a lot of those thought processes as a millennial. Like, and then when people are like, they don't like, how old are you? And I'm like, oh, I'm, you know, and they're like, what, really? And I'm like, yeah, but they think because the way that I, you know, my point of view on things, you know, and they're like, you're Gen X? Like, y'all really don't think like that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of those Gen X's have what I call baby boomer remnants lingering through their operating system. Really, they do. And it's just like, oh God. And even like, oh, that's what I was trying to say. When like my aunt, like on my paternal side, both my aunt and my grandmother were mistreated in their relationships, and then had to end up taking care of the men that mistreated them. That's a mind fuck for me. I would never be able to do that. And then when I think about the boy's father and how the state of health that he's in today, if I had the mindset to stay with him, even as miserable as I was, and I had the mindset, like in the wiring and the programming to fight for my relationship, I would have been my grandmother and my aunt taking care of a man whose quality of life has diminished. I broke a cycle. Baby, when I think about that, every now and again, I think about that, and the biggest smile just becomes on my face, because like when you realize that you have crushed that image in your lineage, like that's done. You broke that shit, bitch. I'll be so happy when I think about stuff like that. Every now and again, I'll be like, that could have been you. That could have been you taking care of an old broke down nigga who mistreated you. Girl, absolutely not. the fuck do I look like? What the fuck do I look like? Stress free. I told you. No Man Essentials coming soon, bitch. What's going on in the blogs? We ain't even talked about the blogs. Baby, why Cardi B's baby boy look just like a Culture? What is his name? What is his name? Wave Set Cephas. She named that baby after him? See, that's another thing. Don't name babies after these niggas that don't deserve. Don't give the baby. Oh. Okay. Let me shut up. I'm so glad I did that because I did that. I gave the boys their father's middle name, but I was like, fuck that. I changed their names. Baby, I was down at the courthouse. Y'all don't know who the fuck I am, okay? I didn't know this. Baby, I changed their names. I sure did. And low key, I wish that, because you know how they say, a lot of people don't, the fathers haven't signed the birth certificates and stuff like that. Baby, I wish that I could have changed, because I gave them. So here's the story. He is a Muslim, a Fuslim. Oh, I shouldn't be saying that during Ramadan. He's a fake Muslim anyway. So he has a last name. You know, like a lot of Muslims have a last name, whatever, but they never change their last name. Never change it. Like just call themselves that. So he wanted his children to have the last name that he calls himself, that he has for himself. His first child from another woman, she gave the boy the last name, a different last name than him. And now that I think about it, I should have just, girl, I don't even know why I called him. I should have never called him. I should just went down to the fucking courthouse and did. But I was trying to be the bigger person. Don't do that. Anyway, so the boys, when they were born, had his middle name and the Islamic last name. And then I was like, no, I'm not about to do that. I changed their names. I gave them my last name and his government last name. So my son's names are hyphenated, right? I was about to say something. Let me not say that, honey, because I know they. I know they in the bushes. I went down to the courthouse, changed their names, filled out the paperwork, put it in the newspaper. I was not playing. I was like, yeah, no. If anything, they gonna get my middle name. Shit. And I thought about that. I'm like, this nigga was not nowhere. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. I'm telling you. They don't. You don't deserve it. You don't deserve it. Now my son likes the way his last name look, because his last name is hyphenated. So he likes to, the way it looks on jerseys and stuff like that. Because he's like, of course he wants to play basketball. Well, he does play basketball, but in college, and he was like, I can't wait to have my last name because it's going to be hyphenated on his back. So I was like, no, because I'm not giving you, first of all, I'm not giving you no fake ass last name. If anybody, you gonna have last name, it's gonna be my daddy's last name. If any motherfucking thing, nigga. Okay. They're gonna have my last name and no middle names. We taking the middle names. I'll get out of here. None of that. I was not playing, y'all. I was not playing. I got my ass on a plane and left that motherfucker. Changed their names and left out of there. I don't play those games because it's crazy, because you realize, like, it's like, and like I said, I reconcile the presence of my two children. I had past life reading, and without knowing anything about me, the woman told me what life I was on, and also told me in my lives there were two boys traveling with me. So I've always reconciled it, because I used to, like, when I was going through my healing process, I used to regret, like that was the man I had children with. I had a lot of regret where it came to that. And then when that woman told me that, I was like, they were going to be here regardless. It didn't matter. They just needed a vessel. So they chose me. So they was going to be here regardless. I don't know, baby. We was going to have Jesus and Jesus. but they was gonna get it regardless. And unfortunately, it was with a fuck nigga. So, but then you have this wiring. You have this wiring that kind of tells you, like, you want this. You know, it's like a whisper. It's a whisper, and I think a lot of women, they kind of subscribe to the social programming. And for me, it's almost like you have an internal battle with yourself where your programming, your social programming is fighting with your soul programming. And your soul is like, girl, this is not it. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. This is not your mission. This is not your purpose. This is not it for you. And I had to have relationships to realize, okay, the way that men are socialized to relate to women does not benefit me. The way that I am in relationships with men does not benefit me. So it was my conscious decision to be like, this doesn't work for me. And then after a lot of like mentorship and readings and and guidance and things like that, I realized like this is not even your purpose. You're really trying to do something that is not even in your soul's purpose. You are succumbing to your social pressures, and when you're doing that, it's causing you needless suffering because that's not your mission, that's not your goal. Your social programming is telling you this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go find a man. You're supposed to do this. You're supposed to da 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 da. And some people are like, that's not it for me. But then you have society that you live in telling you, girl, when you gonna do this, and when you gonna do this, and when you about to have this, and when y'all gonna do this, and this and this and this and this and this and that. And so you kind of have this internal struggle with like, maybe I do want that. Maybe I do want to make a Pinterest with a wedding dress. Bitch, my wedding dresses be black, okay? Oh my God. I'm serious. So it is what it is. Yeah, I thought, it's just your programming. But I think, after a while, like I said, you go through this, bitch, I guess we're not in the blogs, but you go through this, like, this game and this video game, if you use a video game analogy, it's just perfect. Like, you use this video game analogy, you try all of these things, this doesn't work, you find out this is not, you don't like who you are in this, so you check in with yourself and you say, okay, when I get into the next relationship, I'm not going to do this. Then you go into this relationship and you meet this kind of person, you're like, I really don't like who I am in this kind of relationship either. I really don't like this person, the guy is not da 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 da. And then you try another relationship. And after a while, it's just like, I'm not. And then like, that's where you start thinking like, maybe something's wrong with me. How come I'm not picking the right guys? And then you do a little bit more research and a little bit more reading. And then you understand like, oh, this is how they're taught to relate to me. They don't have nothing to do with me. It's like, what? And it's like, you know what? I don't like the way you guys are socialized and how most of y'all have leaned into your socialization. I don't like it. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't vibe with me. It sounds like a bunch of static. And I've tried it several times, and and then I'm not like, oh, let's fight and not fight. It's just not for me. It's just not my thing. It's just not my thing. So that's just what it is. Anyways, I guess we don't really have anything else. We didn't get to the blogs, y'all. Let me see. We have a little time. Let's end this video. We'll come back and try to see what's going on in the blogs. Take care of each other. Protect your energy. I don't even know what that was about. Peace.